私たちの子や孫、そしてその先の世代の子どもたちに謝罪を続ける宿命を背負わせてはなりません。
These were statements made by the former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, a prominent far-right politician during his tenure. His remarks, bordering on reckless remarks, vividly illustrate the historical perspective held by some Japanese politicians. From 1910 to 1945, Japan forcibly annexed the Korean Empire, now known as the Republic of Korea. The press and education were tightly controlled. The Korean people were forced to adopt Japanese names. And economic exploitation and severe oppression continued. One particularly devastating aspect was Japan's large-scale exploitation of Korean agricultural products, which were then shipped to Japan, leading to widespread famine among Korean farmers. Korean women also suffered greatly during this time. Many were forcibly mobilized by the Japanese military as so-called comfort women, enduring inhumane treatment and sexual exploitation. However, even amidst this colonial policy, the Korean people never ceased their efforts to preserve their national identity. On March 1st, 1919, when 33 representatives publicly read the Declaration of Independence, students and citizens flooded the streets shouting, "Long live Korean independence." The movement spread like wildfire across the country, but Japan responded to the peaceful protests with indiscriminate shootings, arrests, and torture. Many patriots and innocent citizens lost their lives or were imprisoned during this period. One of the most tragic incidents was the Jeamni Massacre. In April 1919, during the height of the March 1st movement, a fire broke out in Japanese houses and schools in the Suwon and Hwasong areas. In retaliation, the Japanese military forced the residents of Jeamni, Hwasong into a church, locked the door, and opened fire on them. After the shooting, they set the church on fire. This horrific incident remains a vivid reminder of Japan's brutality during its colonial rule. Japan's violence extended beyond mass killings to the extreme torture of independence activists involved in the March 1st movement. They endured unimaginable pain, facing brutal methods such as water and electric shocks, and even having their fingernails and toenails forcibly removed. Female activists were not spared, suffering sexual violence and other inhumane atrocities. The March 1st movement was not just a protest. It was a fierce struggle made of blood and tears from the Korean people. The sacrifices of the day led to the establishment of the Provisional Government of the Republic of Korea. This government worked tirelessly on the international stage to raise awareness about Japan's colonial rule and to gain support for Korean independence. In 1941, as the Pacific War broke out, Korea's provisional government declared war on Japan, showing its strong resolve for independence. Through this unyielding struggle and sacrifice, Korea finally achieved liberation on August 15th, 1945. However, Japan has not shown genuine remorse or taken responsibility for its history of invasion. Some past Japanese governments have made statements of apology and reflection, such as the 1993 Kono Statement and the 1995 Murayama Statement, which hold considerable significance in the context of Korea-Japan relations. However, questions remain about the sincerity and consistency of Japan's stance.
今次調査の結果、長期にかつ広範な地域にわたって慰安所が設置され、数多くの 慰安婦が存在したことが認められた。
我が国は植民地支配と侵略によって多くの国々、とりわけアジア諸国の人々に対して多大の損害と苦痛を与えました。
Since then, the Japanese government, particularly far-right administrations, has taken actions that undermine the spirit of these earlier statements of apology and reflection. Regarding the issues of the Japanese military's comfort women and forced labor victims, Japan has often chosen to evade responsibility and deny history, rather than offering apologies and demonstrating genuine reflection on its past. For example, on the Victory over Japan Day, Japanese politicians and cabinet members continue to visit the Yasukuni shrine, where World War II war criminals are enshrined, and they continue to make territorial claims over Dokdo, further straining relations and undermining historical accountability.
国策に準じられた皆様の御霊に哀悼の誠を捧げてまいりました。
日本固有の領土であるとの基本的な立場に基づき、毅然と対応してまいります。
The Japanese government officially claims to uphold the spirit of the Kono and Murayama statements. However, the reality of its policies and statements often contradicts this claim, making it difficult to build trust between the two nations. There is a saying, a history that is forgotten is doomed to be repeated. The spirit of the March 1st movement is not just a story of the past. It was the cry of independence that allowed Koreans to be who they are today. Honoring and preserving the spirit of the March 1st movement, which laid the foundation of the Republic of Korea's constitution, is the foundation of safeguarding freedom and independence in the present and for generations to come.